What's up, YouTube? It's been a while. Thank you guys for watching the GED videos. It's crazy. I can't believe it's getting that many views. Can't believe you guys are asking that many questions. I did it because I wanted to make sure that I got my story out there. So yeah, there was a few questions that I want to answer, try to help out a little bit more, try to give a little bit more advice as much as I can. The number one thing that I will say though is just go and take the damn test. Like, yes, it may be a little difficult, it may be a little daunting. You may not pass, but who cares? Like, who really cares if you don't pass? A, you don't have to tell anybody if you don't want to. B, the people that are supporting you are not going to make fun of you. They're not going to say anything. They're just going to encourage you to go and take the test again. So number one thing is just go out there, take the exam, see where you are. Worst case scenario, you fail. Best case scenario, you pass, and you don't have to think about it anymore. So my biggest piece of advice is put the nerves aside. It's just a test. Nothing's going to happen. It's not life or death. It's not going to make or break you. I know there's one gentleman that said he wants to become a police officer, so it's something that he has to obtain before he can join the police academy, and that's understandable, and that does bring in a lot of pressure. But at the same time, you still have plenty of time, right? You can still go ahead and take that GED. If things don't work out the first time, you have more time to take it again. The police academy is always looking for good, skilled, talented folks that want to be officers. So, sir, you'll be fine if you don't pass. But my biggest piece of advice is just go out and take the test. Put the nerves aside, take the test. So there was another question. Someone asked, where did I get the study material, or where did I take the practice exams from? Everything that I got as far as study material and practice exams came from the GED website itself. I'll place the link at the bottom of, or in the description of this video, because I don't know it exactly, but if you just Google GED, the first website you see, that's where all the information is. That's where you can see your test scores. That's where you can pay for the practice exam. The practice exam is about $7 for each test. I highly, highly, highly recommend taking that exam, because the questions are identical on the real test. I promise you, I had the same question, not the exact same questions, but I had at least 5 to 10%, maybe even 20% of the same questions on the practice exam on the real exam. So take it, and if it tells you that you're ready, then you're probably ready. If it tells you that you're not ready, then you probably just have a little bit more studying to do, and it does spell out exactly what you need to study. So it's a really good thing. It costs $7. That is a lot of money, but it won't make or break you. So just go ahead and invest in that practice exam. You'll definitely appreciate it once you see it, and then you go take the real exam. You'll be like, damn, I'm glad I did that, because you know exactly what to expect. I mean, it's the same format, everything's the same colors, the buttons are in the same spot. I mean, it's the exact same layout, and you will even get the same type of questions and some of the same specific questions. So take the practice exam on the GED website. I did take the GED exam, not the high set. That was another question. I may have put some study material in a video about the high set, because the material is the same, the content is the same, but I did learn that the high set exam is a whole lot cheaper than the GED. I believe the GED is about $120 for all 4 exams. It's $30 each. The high set, I think, will cost you under $50 for all 4 of their exams. So if you want to save a lot of money, take the high set. But I did not take that test, so I don't know exactly what the content is like. I don't know anything about their practice exams or anything like that. What I do know, because I do know someone that took the high set of exams, is that it takes a very long time to get your scores back. I think they have to mail them to you, so it takes about a week or so. I knew my GED scores the moment I left the testing center. So that's a plus for me, because I need that instant gratification. So yeah. So specifics about what's on the math exam. Again, so take a look at my other video, because a lot of this I did talk about when it was really, really fresh in my mind. But I'll go back a little bit, and this is what I remember, that there was a lot of word questions, right? Like kind of stepping you through like a situation and asking you how to find like maybe the average, the sum, the mean, the median. So definitely you want to study your averages, your mean, your median, things like that. There was a handful of questions about that, and it will be in the form of a word problem. Like if so-and-so was driving to California and they need to be there in 3 days, and they drive at 55 miles per hour, and they are able to travel 6 miles in 25 hours, how much more time will it take before they reach California, or something like that, right? So those are the types of things you want to think about. But again, practice exam, it has all of that stuff on there. There's some slope questions on there. I'm not really comfortable or familiar with how to find slope and all that stuff. I guarantee you I got those questions wrong, but it didn't weigh enough, I guess, to cause me to receive a failing score. I did only pass the math by like 2 points though, so let me caveat it with that. I am not a math guru by any means, but I think I had enough basic knowledge and coupled with a little bit of studying that I was able to pass with like 1 or 2 points above passing. There's some fraction stuff on there, some basic fraction, adding, multiplying, subtracting. There's turning decimals into fractions and vice versa, turning fractions into decimals. There's a little bit of geometry, but the one thing about the GED test is they give you a card when you walk in there with all of the formulas. So it will kind of ask you how to find the radius of a circle, find the diameter of a circle and all that. And if you don't remember, that's fine. You don't remember the formula, that's fine, because it gives you a card and it shows you, here's how you find the diameter of a circle. You multiply the median by the circumference or whatever it is, right? It's right there, so you don't worry about trying to remember the formula. I did that a little bit thinking that I was going to need it, and when I got in there, they handed me that card, I felt like I wasted my time a little bit. So they will give you the formulas for all of the geometry questions that are on there. They will give you the formula for pi. Everything that requires you to know a formula for the test, it will be on there, right? So you do want to do a little bit of studying. Again, take a look at the videos in the description section on what I've watched, because you do want to brush up and polish up on a little on your PEMDAS, right? So you know the order of operations, the parentheses, exponents, multiplication, blah, 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 blah. Because that's going to be majority of your questions is find the answer to this question and make sure that you do it in the right order, right? You have to solve that problem in the right order. So there's a lot of that. I'm not really good at algebra, so like solving for X, solving for Y, things like that kind of confuse me, especially if it's a long polynomial. I probably got most of those wrong, and I still passed the test. But study them, because it is a big part of it. So I would say the biggest piece of advice I can give for the math is pick 2 or 3 things out of take a look at the syllabus or the requirements from the math exam on the GED website. Pick about 2 or 3 things to really, really focus on that you're already strong in, and make sure you get all of those questions right, and you'll probably pass. But again, take the practice exam. If the practice exam tells you you're not ready, keep studying a little bit, because you don't want to go in there and waste your $30, because it is the same types of questions, right? So that's the biggest advice I can give you on the math. I did not know everything. I probably knew about 30 to 50% of what they were asking, and it was good enough. Remember, this is still the GED test, the high school equivalency, so they're not trying to kill you, right? The goal is for you to pass it. It's better for everybody if you pass it. So they're not trying to trip you up. They're not trying to trick you. They are giving you a chance to pass the test with minimal amount of math knowledge, right? Now, I know that may, I'll take that out. So, another question, reasoning through language arts. Someone said that was one of the more difficult exams. I really, really like talking, so having a good handle on the English language is something that I really enjoy talking. So the English part wasn't as difficult for me because I like to read a little bit. Now, I'm not sitting reading books all the time. I don't even remember the last book I read, probably like How to Eat Fried Worms, right? So it's not like I'm sitting reading real books, but I like to read a lot of newspaper articles. I read a lot of just news on my phone, like just different things about life, about politics, about science, about technology. So I do read a lot of different things, especially on the internet, not a lot of books. I used to read the newspaper all the time. So I felt like I had a pretty good handle on the English language and how it should be presented and things like that. And that's exactly what the exam is. They will give you a few paragraphs, a few sentences, and just kind of ask you, is it presented the right way? What's missing? And it's all multiple choice, right? So they'll give you a sentence and say, is it structured right? Is it missing any commas, any periods? And they'll give you the answers to kind of replace that sentence with. And it'll be basic stuff. Like there will be a name that's not capitalized. Like you know that every name in a sentence should be capitalized. Right, so that type of stuff. So be prepared to read for understanding, right? So that's why it's called reasoning through language arts, because they're not trying to trip you up. They just want to make sure you have a solid handle on the English language. So when you write that email, or when you use your GED to actually go to college, right? And you take that English 101 class, You're going to have to write a lot of essays. You're going to have to write a thesis and all that stuff that the GED is trying to make sure that you're familiar with that before you move on. So again, they're not trying to trip you up. It's kind of basic stuff, but you do want to take the practice exam and see where you are. There is a writing piece. Some people may be intimidated a little bit about writing the essay. I promise you, it's scored way too quickly. I promise you, the test is scored way too quickly for anyone to really be reading this essay. They do not care about the content or even about your argument. What they care about is it structured properly, right? So it's going to give you instructions. It's going to say, make sure you write 3 to 5 paragraphs with 3 to 4 sentences per paragraph and 4 or 5 words per sentence, something like that. Make sure you follow that, right? So it's going to be an argumentative type of essay. They're going to give you 2 points. Digital cameras versus whatever the alternative is, right? And you'd argue what you prefer. Foreign cars versus American cars or something like that, right? So you'd make the argument why you prefer one over the other. And just that simple. But it's not about the argument itself. It's about the structure of the essay. You follow those rules on that, you'll pass the test, guaranteed. Again, take the practice exam. So I didn't get a lot of questions about science and social studies, so I'm guessing that everybody's got a pretty good handle on that. Shit's pretty fucking easy. It's like all the questions are in the exam. That's another thing. Another big takeaway. The answers are in the exam, right? There's nothing that you need to go out there and learn. You don't have to learn your American history. You don't have to, but you don't actually have to go out there and learn anything. Everything is within the exam. You just have to read it, understand where they're coming from, or understand the content, and then answer the questions. So keep that in mind. The only exam that actually have to know something for. So keep that in mind. The only exam where you actually have to have the knowledge is the math. And that's why I say pick a couple of things that you're comfortable in and really, really, really make sure you do everything you can to answer those correctly, and you'll probably be okay. So again, thank you very much for all the love, all the feedback, all the views. It's crazy. I can't believe so many people are listening to me about the GED. I'll take that out. But I really, truly appreciate that. I really, really do. So if you guys have more questions that I can hopefully answer, let me know. If you have any specific questions, I'm probably always going to point you towards some of the videos I've watched and the study material that's posted on the website, because that's all I use. And I don't want you to think that you need any more than that. But if you ask me specific questions, I'll for sure do whatever I can to answer them. But I'm telling you, all the study material that you need is on the website and on this platform as well, on YouTube. So check out the links. I'll post a video that a link to the video that I recorded probably about a couple months ago now, that is a little more accurate as far as what exactly to expect on the exam, because it was fresh in my mind when I recorded that video. So again, thank you very much. Hit the subscribe button, keep watching, keep asking me those questions, and we'll pass that damn test, guaranteed.